Alright, what's going on, guys? Brother Kane back at you with another video, and I do apologize for the lighting. Um, you know, I figured what I'm going to talk about could require, this type of lighting. Obviously, it'd be a lot different when it's nighttime, but um, I know most of you guys want to know about my spiritual beliefs. So, I do believe there is life after death. I do believe there's, a life beyond our natural world that we live in. I do believe that, there is a God. I do believe there is a devil. I do believe in God. I am a believer of God. I'm not a believer of the devil. I do believe in God. I do believe there is a heaven. I do believe there's a hell. And I also believe there is what I would assume would be called, I think, like the in-between. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe there is something called the in-between where, spirits are kind of stuck. They're kind of basically stuck in in Earth because of, I guess, whatever agenda they may have or whatever past life they have to go and make peace with the person who may have caused it. So that's kind of my whole thing with that. Like I said, I do believe there is some sort of life beyond that, and I'm not going to get too emotional with everything nor go into like grave detail with it, but it was on August 19th of last year. This was like a couple weeks after my birthday. A friend of mine, his grandmother had passed away, and she was basically family to me. I'm literally family to his parents, his grandparents, and this was like the very first time I've actually ever been to a hospital where someone had passed away. Now, I didn't get to really say much of anything before she died because I guess she had passed away a little earlier by the time that me and my friend had got there to the hospital. But, I've always prayed. I've always, tried to ensure that, God would watch over her as she ascended to heaven. So, like I said, I am a true believer of God. I actually have a Bible in my house that I actually read sometimes. And I actually do daily readings. So, for those who don't know what that is, basically what it is, it's basically me trying to read a scripture from the Bible and basically put it into my own words what I feel the meaning of it is. That's basically what my interpretation of those daily readings are to me. So that's basically my concept of that. Now, obviously, there are certain, games that some people play and post on YouTube. I'm not one of those people. I'll talk about it, but I will never do it at all because, like I said, I am a true believer of God, and I don't know exactly what people could possibly conjure into this earth or this realm. And I'm gonna kind of stay right here and kind of just talk a bit. So, games like Bloody Mary, games like Baby Blue, where you're kind of in a bathroom, candles, looking in the mirror and kind of saying whatever words you got to say about a couple times until you actually see something in the mirror. Or you have to rock a baby, or at least make it feel like you're rocking a baby by doing the whole posture and feeling the weight of the kid and hoping that you could flush it down before the mother appears in the bathroom, because if so, then you're basically gone. So I believe in that stuff. It's something that I know some people don't believe in. I believe in it because we have no idea what the world was like before we all came in. Obviously, with the Ouija boards, I've never tend to mess with that stuff either because, like I said, you have no idea what you're going to conjure up into this world. And with entities, demons, stuff like that, spirits, it takes time, it takes energy, and there was one day, and I kid you not, there's one day, a friend of mine and myself, we went to the mall, and we went into Spencer's, and some people who may have been to Spencer's, exactly what they have in these certain stores, and we came across, and this was around Halloween time, so of course there's going to be a Ouija board in there, and my friend and I came across it, and I was just kind of looking at it like, interesting. Nothing I would ever play, but one of the cashiers there kind of came around and was asking if we wanted to buy the Ouija board, and I was like, no. She's like, oh, come on, it's not gonna be that bad. I mean, nothing's gonna happen to you. And I kid you not, I told her, I'm like, you would be surprised. There are people who posted this stuff on YouTube, and you obviously have no idea what could happen to these people. They have no idea what could conjure up in their houses. Obviously, I think that's kind of the idea of kind of also being a salesperson, is you're trying to give out, I guess, false information, or putting it in a way where you really want to get somebody to buy something, so you have to come up with some sort of idea that could get them to buy it. And I obviously wasn't buying it. Like, I would never ever want to buy a Ouija board ever. Like, that's how much of a spiritual person I actually am. I never want to touch anything like that at all. So, I'm actually going to walk in my house too as well. I don't want to be sitting outside in the hall looking like a weirdo. Okay. Alright, so with the Ouija boards, I never touched any of those ever. And it's one of those things where it's kind of like, alright, why would you ever want to play something that could conjure up some sort of entity, demon, anything like that, that you obviously know that you have absolutely no control over it, nor could you see. You could never even see anything like that. So it's like, why bother? And Dibbit boxes are another thing. And obviously for some of you guys, you may not know what it is. For those who don't know what it is, I will explain it to you guys. For those who do know, you already know exactly. So I'm going to give out another example before I get into that. So for spirits, when you see them kind of roaming around outside and, like hiding behind trees, running out, kind of hiding out behind those, ask yourself this: how are you actually able to see them? There are some who could actually see some of these spirits, and obviously energy is how you're able to see them. So it's not only just us as humans that have energy. Obviously you guys know that the physical objects outside, such as trees, they have energy as well within them. I mean, you would assume that, when you watch Dragon Ball Z and you see Goku doing that whole spirit bomb, he's, getting energy out from all the plants and animals, from the natural habitats outside of, our houses, or in, the natural environment. It's true. Most of these plants and animals, they all have energy, and that's how some of these entities are able to cross over to our realm, because it does take time, it does take energy for them to cross over. So that's kind of how that whole thing works. So when it comes to Dibbit boxes, it's a lot worse too as well. And Dibbit boxes are basically what you would call a containment. I guess like a containment chamber, something like that, or a confinement case, where basically what's inside the Dibbit box is an item, and in that item there is a spirit that's attached to it. Now obviously as humans, we can't see with our two eyes. It's our third eye right here. It's our third eye that we're able to see these spirits and these entities. And basically what happens is some people will buy these things off of eBay. I'm sure some of them have it on eBay, some of them have it on the dark web. Never, ever, ever buy anything off the dark web, because you have no idea what you are getting yourself into. Do not buy nothing off of the dark web. But yeah, basically these Dybbuk boxes are concealed with candle wax to kind of keep the spirit that's locked inside confined inside the box, so that way it never gets out. But there are people who buy these things, and what they see, or what we see as humans, we only see the item. We don't see the entity that's inside of it until, you know, things start happening where, you know, lights are flickering on and off, you start getting a rancid smell around you, you start, you know, feeling cold, the house starts getting cold, doors are closing, opening, windows are opening and closing and slamming, and there's a point in time that, you know, these entities start really attaching themselves onto you and basically taking you as a host. They're taking over your body, and they're wanting what any other person would want, and that's life, and obviously wanting to kill, depending on those who are extremely malevolent. That's why I truly tell people, if they ever try to get into stuff like that and they want to start, you know, doing Ouija boards or opening Dybbuk boxes or stuff like that, don't ever try to do it. There's this movie on Tubi TV, for those who, you know, like to watch free movies. There's a movie called The Dybbuk Box, which, you know, basically involves a YouTuber named Chris Chambers hosting a YouTube video live of him opening a Dybbuk box that he bought off the dark web. And, you know, like the stuff I'm saying, this is things that happen. So, like I said, you really have to be mindful and cautious of what you do, because you mess with the spiritual world and there's no closing it. There's no getting them to go back and rest in peace, because now they're like, okay, now you bothered me, now you're going to pay the price, type of thing. So my spiritual beliefs are basically that. I do believe there is such things as spirits. Now, obviously, some may not believe me. I'm not going to be the one to sit here and make arguments with you. You believe whatever you want to believe in. These are my beliefs. I do believe there are things beyond what we're not able to see. That's why, you know, the world itself is unexplainable. How do you explain some of the things that have happened that we're not able to see? It's because of the spirits that cross over to our realm to cause whatever harm or mayhem they have against that person or whomever it may be. So that's basically my whole spiritual beliefs and what I believe in spiritually. I do believe, you know, our spirits cross over to the heavens or the hells, wherever they go to. I also believe in astral projection. For those who do know what that is, you already know it's when your soul basically is projected outside of your own physical body to let you roam around the spiritual world. Now, I'm not the one to ever try to do that either, because you have no idea what you're going to bring back. So be cautious in messing with spiritual things that you don't have any idea or can't comprehend. Do not mess with stuff like that, because you won't be able to get rid of it. I mean, you can, but they're probably not going to literally go away that easily. Obviously, you're going to need a priest and some sage or whatever you may need to get rid of it. But be cautious of what you do, please, when it comes to messing with spirits, because you don't truly know what you're going to bring into the world. So that's my beliefs in the spiritual world and all that stuff. So this has been Brother Kane, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.